The reign of terror is over. Those words spoken by authorities describe the capture of Richard Ramirez, a drifter and self-described devil worshiper who was eventually convicted of 13 brutal murders in Southern California. Ramirez would enter his victim's home through an unlocked window or door and first murder the man of the house. Then he would burglarize the home and assault or kill the women. In court, Ramirez has displayed a range of emotions, from the sublime to the demented.
I don't even know why I'm wasting my breath, but what the hell? You maggots make me sick. You don't understand. It means you are not expected to. You are not capable of it. I am beyond your experience. I am beyond good and evil. Legions of the night, night breed. Repeat not the errors of Nightcrawler and show no mercy. I will be avenged. Lucifer dwells within us all.
And Cindy, you care for this man?
Yes, I do. That's just one side of him.
But that's a dreadful side. That's a
Well, everybody has a dreadful side.
Everyone?
I would say the majority of people have. There's a good and there's a bad side.
Maxon and Leela Niding of Glendale, California, were murdered by Ramirez in 1985. I think they were the 10th and the 11th victims of the man. Judy Arnold, their daughter, joins us right now on the telephone. Judy, have you been listening for the last couple of minutes?
Yes, I have.
I'd like your reaction to Cindy's feelings for Ramirez.
Well, I'm confused that it's Cindy on the program, but since it is, I don't understand Cindy. I think she's just a little girl in search of attention. I mean, Ramirez is a cold-blooded murderer.
How did he, can you briefly, to the extent that you feel you are able to, can you briefly describe the manner in which he killed your parents?
Oh, yes, I can. He went in. They were sleeping. He shot my father in the head. He shot my mother in the head. My mother's face was almost completely blown off, and my father's head was almost severed completely. And that's how he left him.
Cindy, you know that. You sat on that jury. You saw the evidence. You saw the photos of the crime scenes. How can you have any kind of emotionally positive feelings toward a butcher?
I look beyond that. I look at what's behind that. Why? The why of it. That was my reason for seeking.
How much of your life now are you spending with Richard? I mean, does he occupy every day of your life? I mean, he's quite demanding, isn't he?
I wouldn't say he's demanding, no. But I spend some time with him each day.
Each day?
Usually. People think of me. I'm doing what I have to do. He did not get a fair trial. That is my main point.
Best friend?
In a very unusual situation in that she was a member of the jury which, as you said, not only convicted him, but returned a death verdict. I mean, he could die in San Quentin's gas chamber because of her decision in that jury room, which is quite remarkable.
There are many of us, myself among them, who would say that's not such a bad thing. How would you feel, however, if indeed the death sentence was carried out on this man to whom you are now showing such at least compassion?
I would feel very sad. He didn't get a fair trial.
But he was convicted, and you believed, correct me if I'm wrong, it is my understanding that, Cindy, you believed Richard Ramirez guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in the brutal murders and rapes and robberies and dismemberment of 13 members of your community. Innocent people, like Judy's parents.
Yes, but you understand that because his trial was not fair, the defense did not present anything to create a reasonable doubt.
If I may say something, I think put it in its proper context, Cindy, with what she heard in court, I guess, as she said today, still believes he's guilty. She hasn't heard the other side of the coin.
What she's
and one
saying,
of the troubling things is that the jury only heard
that they
one
didn't
side of the
consider
coin.
his childhood, that they didn't consider his
Well, they
mental
didn't hear
upset.
anything. We don't know. Well, they didn't hear anything.
We heard nothing.
Do you doubt that he took the knife and cut the head off of Judy's father? Or the shotgun and blew his face off? Do you believe he did that?
I convicted him.
And You rats or maggots, he called us. You maggots, and I believe you were included in the description of maggot as a juror.
Probably, I was there.
You maggots can't possibly understand me. How can you, an educated woman, an educated professional woman, I mean, what do you guys talk about? The angel scores? Or
That's not how he normally talks. He likes to put on a show for the media's sake.
Someone said, so do you? Who said that? Oh, that's very cynical back there. Very, very cynical. But what do you chat about?
I talk about what I do, my life. He talks about what he does.
But isn't he a self-centered kind of guy? Isn't he mostly interested in what you can do for him?
No. He's done a lot for me.
Wait. We can hardly wait.
I'm sure you can.
And what is it that Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, has done for you?
He's very intelligent, and as I said, he is striving to improve himself, to understand his anger and how to control that, and he feeds that information to me.
Would you like to see him free someday?
I won't answer that.
Richard, you got left out of Where's the witness?
And that carries a risk. There is something in our nature, a sense of curiosity about man's darker side, that draws us to these strangers who kill and kill again, even fictional killers.
The case would drag on for years, with the Texas drifter frequently disrupting the proceedings by displaying satanic signs like this pentagram tattooed to the palm of his hand, or by shouting obscenities at court spectators or at trial judge Michael Tynan.
I won't come back in here again. You understand that? This trial is a joke.
Phil, you watch the women who go to see him, as I did, watch the women who go to the jails to visit him. They all come away with the same glazed look on their face. There's something about him, and maybe Mr. Ressler can help me figure it out, because I sure haven't been able to figure out what it
About
is.
Richard Ramirez.
Well, when he's not expounding when he's not egocentric as he is, he's a caring guy sometimes.
Did he care about the 13 people you have just told me that you are convinced he killed? And
No,
in
not
some
at
case
all.
mutilate?
Not at all.
And the fact that he did that to those people, that's not enough to make you hate him?
I don't hate him. I don't agree with what he did in any way, shape, or form, no.
Let me ask, in fact, her sister Christina was supposed to be with her grandparents that night. She joins us in the audience. Robin, what's your feeling about what you've heard?
I'm a little baffled by how someone can say that they love somebody who's done heinous things to other people.
What did Richard Ramirez do to your grandparents?
He first stalked them by parking in front of their house, watching their movements. Broke into their house one evening. Well, actually didn't break into it. Through an unopened door, he entered their house, or unlocked door, excuse me, and proceeded to shoot my grandfather in the head, shoot my grandmother 3 times, and stab her repeatedly. I can't explain to people how it feels. It's not something, excuse me, it's not something I can ask people to understand. But I think to give attention to people who feel that he was given an unfair trial when my grandparents' possessions were found on him, at his fences, and the gentleman that was selling or purchasing them from him, it disturbs me. It's a frightening thing to think that we, as a nation, think that these kind of people are normal. That is not a normal thing, to be attracted to someone who's so evil and so dangerous. I really don't know how to address these people. I don't have to address these people in my everyday life. And so to actually have to sit here, and I'm doing this because of my mom, my aunt, my uncle, and my grandparents. And it frightens me that we all think that this is acceptable. It's not acceptable.
Dr. Carol Lieberman, it's not acceptable, is it? Or is it?